Recently I posted the best landing locations for Kings Canyon in Apex Legends Season 12. And with the landing location video comes a rotations video, so that's what we have in today's video. Hey, how's it going? I hope you're having a fantastic day. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name's Dominic, and if you want to know how to get better at Apex Legends, then welcome to the channel. I post every other day to help you guys become a better player. As I said, today's video is the best rotations on Kings Canyon in Apex Legends Season 12, so without any more talking, let's begin. Starting us off will be the landing location Capacitor. From here you want to rotate into Labs, and then the Cage. Capacitor is a really nice place to land. There's plenty of buildings, usually a couple people, which is it's actually quite nice to land contested. That is if you're going for some kills, that is. So yeah, Capacitor has a lot of loot, there's lots of buildings, lots of loot bins, and it's directly connected to Labs. So from Capacitor, you want to head through this tunnel down here. From here, you can either just loot up, fight the enemies, or you can go straight through the portal, which is located here, and then fly over to Cage. You can either take the portal, or as I said before, you can either loot up and fight the people who are there. And attack the portal, you can simply just walk to the Cage. Cage isn't that far from Labs anyway, so it won't take you too long to get there. The reason why this is such a good rotation is Capacitor to Labs to Cage. You're getting pretty close to the center of the map there. Obviously, every time I make a rotations video, I can only do it so far. Like, I could do Capacitor to Labs to Cage, through the center here, to Bunker, and then to run off. But obviously you got to go where the ring takes you. So Capacitor to Labs to Cage, you're pretty center of the map, so you can kind of go wherever the ring takes you here. That's going to be the running theme for this video, is that I'll tell you where to go 3 or so times, but from there you got to go where the game takes you. So yeah, just to recap, land a Capacitor, go through to Labs. They can either use the portal into Cage, or you can just run there. There are some other ways if you want to. You can go from Capacitor and then go down to these few buildings here. But there's not going to be as much loot there, but it is a much faster rotation. But yeah, for my personal preference, I would land Capacitor, go to Labs, and then fly to Cage. Up next, we have Gauntlet, then go over to Airbase, and then Bunker. Gauntlet is very good if you land uncontested. It can be contested every now and then, but if you get that golden loot in the middle, that's going to set you up for the game very nicely. There's only 2 buildings, but there's a lot of loot bins here. As well as loot bins, there's a lot of floor loot that spawn as well. So Gauntlet is a place where you want to go if you want to get looted up properly. But yeah, from Gauntlet, I would suggest going over to Airbase. Airbase is the same in the fact that there's not that many buildings. It's mainly loot bins and floor loot. Again, same as Gauntlet, it can be contested. But by the time you're at Gauntlet and rotate over to Airbase, either you have enough time to third party the teams that are there, or you could just loot up where people haven't landed. Now from Airbase, you want to go over to here. It isn't actually a name location, but we all know that it's loved by the community. It's a very nice place to go. Yep, same as Gauntlet, it can be contested, but sometimes isn't. So this is another place to get some loot. Or, again, third party, or you could just totally miss this out and go around the outsides. The only thing with that is that it's very open area, so that's the only thing you got to worry about if you're rotating through here. And then from here, you want to go into Bunker. Now, Bunker, you've got to be careful just because of all the caustics, camping and all that kind of stuff. Again, if it's not been looted, loot up, or just quickly rotate through. And that kind of takes you around to the middle of the map again. So from here, you just want to go where the ring takes you. Just to recap, land a Gauntlet, loot up, third party at Airbase, go through this unnamed location and head over to Bunker. For Bunker, you don't want to spend too much time in there in case there's actually people camping, and it is actually a very popular place to rotate through, so you don't want to spend too much time in there. And then from there, you want to go where the ring takes you. Same as the Cage, the Bunker takes you out to around the middle of the map. So from there, you can have an easy rotation to wherever you need to go. Up next is that you want to land Crash Site, head over to Spotted Lake, come out of the pit, and then kind of loop back round into Containment. Or you can kind of include the last rotation and head down to Bunker and go out that way. I personally, if I'm rotating through the pit, like to loot up this building here, go through this little choke point here, and actually take height at this little building up here. For me, this little building up here is actually better than Bunker, just because, well, it's high ground. It's very easy to take, it's very good to look over. Crash Site is actually a still pretty contested area. So that's one thing you gotta know when you're actually using this rotation, is that Crash Site, well, there is going to be people here. So just keep that in mind. If you're not confident with actually directly landing with enemy teams, then landing at one of the buildings down below is actually a pretty good thing to do. Then we head down here towards this building here, Spotted Lake is rarely contested. It's out the way, there's a lot, and I mean a lot of loot here, and it's big. The reason why I suggested going down into pit and not through this little choke point here is, well, because this choke point is heavily guarded. There's always fights going at containment, and if you're at Spotted Lake, rotating through the pit will actually help you survive a little bit longer. Unless you are looking for some of them kills, then be my guest, head through here, but my personal rotation would be head through to the pit. Now, the pit for me is actually a really underrated location. There's a lot, and I mean a lot of loot. There's so many loot bins, so much floor loot here, more than enough for the whole team. Then from the pit, loot this building, head through this choke point, head up to this house, and then keep this house until you know where the next ring location is. So let me just go over some of the alternative rotations from this. Is head down to crash site, miss out Spotted Lake and go down through this little ginnel here, go towards the what I like to call diving board, then head to containment, then head to this building here. You can go down to Spotted Lake, head through this choke point here, through containment, take the house up top, Spotted Lake, the pit, and then down to the bunker. Or what I like to do, head to the pit and then go through this little choke point here. Now, you're more than welcome to skip this part, but I'm going to quickly recap every single rotation that I mentioned in this video. So, starting us off, we have Capacitor, head over to the labs, and then use the portal and fly over to Cage. If you don't want to do that, you can just run there. It's not too far to run. Next up, we have Gauntlet. Head over to Airbase, either just by the zip line, or I'm pretty sure the jump tower that's there, to go onto the wall and then look over to see if there's anyone in there. If there's not, loot up. If there is, possibly third party, if that's what you're into doing. And then from Airbase, head to this unnamed location and then head into Bunker. From Bunker, you just want to wait to see where the next ring is, as you're relatively in the middle of the map. Finally, you want to land at Crash Site, head over to Spotted Lake, head into the pit, through this choke point here, and then take the house. Again, from the house, you want to wait for the next ring and see where the game wants to take you. Then from there, that's all up to you. I can only provide a little bit of rotation and some of my personal favourites that have worked for me, because every game is different, so there's only so much of a rotation that can actually be provided. If you want to know more about Apex Legends maps, then I have a whole playlist which will be linked in the description down below. This goes over every single landing location and rotation for every single map on Apex Legends. Storm Point, World's Edge, Olympus, and finally King's Canyon. This is the final one, and every single season, if there's a new map change to whatever of the maps, then I make an updated version. But up to now, every single landing location and rotation will be linked in the playlist in the description down below if you want to learn the maps easily and quickly. That's going to conclude today's video, guys. If you found this video helpful and or entertaining in any way, shape or form, then make sure you head down below and leave a like. Whilst you're down there, you might as well subscribe to be entered into the next subscriber shoutout. Thank you guys so much for your support recently. We are fast approaching 1.3k subs. Don't forget to join the community Discord, which will be in the pinned comment down below. So yeah, that's all from me. Thank you guys so much for your support. Once again, it's been my pleasure, and until next time, keep dominating, Legends.
So confused, I can't see anyone out there.